Thanks for joining us, everybody, for this town board meeting for Town Queens. If you'll join me for the pledge, we can convene. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The record reflect that all the members are present of the town board. Public announcements, the 2026 summer youth employment applications are due the 1st of June. Just a reminder. Board received the minutes from the 5th.
Supervisor, before we move on from public announcements, can we just make an announcement about the Carver Company's Community Day?
Sure.
That's coming up on Saturday. It's a rain date.
Yeah. So yeah, it was postponed, from the 9th, I think. So there's a new date for Carver Community Day at the Port of Queens, and that is May 30th. I think it's from 9 to 12.
9 to 1.
9 to 1. There's going to be a bounce house. I think the general manager Z told me there was going to perhaps be a helicopter landing, and Yanni's food truck's going to be there, complimentary, and face painting, balloon twisting, and heavy trucks and equipment on display. Thank you. Did the board receive the minutes for the 5th and 14th of May?
Yep.
And had a chance to review them. I'd like to make a motion to accept them into the record.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Supervisor's report for April 2026. General fund balance forward, $56,521.15. Receipts of $230,505.79. Disbursements of $229,389.38. Balance of $57,637.56. Earned interest this month, $13,685.52. Consolidated fund balance forward, $666.76. Receipts of $573,485.97. Disbursements of $573,483.58. Balance of $669.15. Our town fund balance forward, $66,027.90. Receipts of $1,455.45. Disbursements of $24,181.38. Balance of $43,301.97. Earned interest of $3,863.94. Highway Part Town Fund balance forward is $68,020.08. Receipts of $296,240.11. Disbursements of $277,809.07. A balance of $86,451.12. Earned interest of $760.70. Townwide fund balance forward $470.53. Receipts of $276,378.76. Disbursements of $250,750.42. Balance of $26,098.87. Earned interest $59.78. Sewer balance forward $31,811.11. Receipts of $117,008.15. Disbursements of $115,347.29. Balance of $33,460.97. Earned interest on that fund is $776.70. Trust and agency balance forward $25,216.84. Receipts of $249,456.72. Disbursements $250,813.01. Balance of $23,860.55. Capital projects balance forward $23,115.19. Receipts of 19 cents. No disbursements. Balance of $23,115.19. $115.38. Earned interest $95,007. Section 8 HUD balance forward $11,586.21. Receipts of $81,836.68. Disbursements of $78,740.16. Balance of $14,682.73. For reconciled balances $309,278.30. Total earned interest this month $19,231.71. Savings account Grove Cemetery $928.75. Earned interest of $92.58. Queens Hollow Cemetery $546.80. Earned interest of $9.28. Cove Cemetery $320.97. Earned interest of $43.22. Total savings account $1,796.52. Total earned interest on savings account $145.08. Collateral coverage, Bank of Greene County and National Bank of Kutsaki, both for $250,000. Greene County Bank collateralized at $225,828.78. NICLAS report for this month, for April. Withdrawals from A General, $100,000 for payroll and general bills. SS, $110,000 for the same, and a small movement for DA for $500.
No, I don't have that.
We don't know.
Oh, okay. I'll send you copies. Apologies if that's not in there. Where were we? And that's the withdrawals, and the dividends were, as we said, $19,376.79. I'll get that report to the board members tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Can you just tell me the deposits and the withdrawals, just the total amounts?
Contributions to sales tax came in. To DA was $250,000. To DB was $220,000. And withdrawals were A General $100,000, SS $110,000, and DA $500. To make a motion to accept the supervisor's report into the record.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Madam Clerk, if you'll give us your report, please.
Town clerk for April of 2026. In the A fund, we handed over to the supervisor's office a total of $101,695.49. That did include water rents and penalties. In the B fund, we handed over a total of $4,762.50. And in the SS fund, we handed over only $4,788.82. So the total local shares remitted is $111,246.81. New York State Ag and Markets received $27. New York State Department of Health received $45. New York State DEC received $532.72. So you have total non-local revenues of $604.72 for a total state, county, and local revenue of $111,851.53.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the clerk's report for April to the record.
I'll second that. Steve will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Chief Trinan?
Okay, I guess I'll go over here. I don't know. Thank you, Board. Mount Clemens Police Department activity report for April 2026. There were over 1,078 calls for service throughout the town, resulting in 18 criminal arrests. There were 231 traffic stops effected, and we issued 31 tickets, made a DWI arrest, and investigated 7 accidents within the town. I'd like to add that Sergeant Arnold, Detective Malone, and Corporal Weir participated in a water safety course sponsored by Carver Company, which is designed to effect water rescue with people who are trained in the specifics about doing water rescues around the port, both pleasure boating and related to the port activities. So they're trained, and that's good to have. Sergeant Peter completed the first of 3 weeks, and he's actually completed the second 2 weeks. He's had a 3-week supervisor school successfully. He's now a properly trained supervisor. We also assisted with the annual Easter egg hunt at the VFW on April 4th. It was very heavily attended. There's so many people there that we kind of had some lessons learned for next year and the years coming afterwards. Very popular. So, that. I also see that there's some folks here that we've been dealing with some issues in the town. And particularly about motorcycles, unlicensed motorcycles, dirt bikes, doing all sorts of mischief and mayhem and intimidating folks. So I wanted to report that we have arrested and seized 2 bikes so far, and there's more to come. And we've issued tickets for those who are 16 and older, and the bike's been towed. And we have petitioned to family court the juveniles involved with others. And there'll be more coming. But I want to stress to you that as we have spoken, Henriette and others, that, you know, our hands are tied. It's the result of what's going on. There's not a lot you can do. Juvenile justice is in the toilet, quote unquote. So we're going to do our best, and the department will do our best. There's also some very significant cases that the police department's been involved in. So it's very busy down here. It seems to be getting busier. However, this brings me to my next issue, and this is a memo to the board and the board members Stephen Schmidt, Michael Stott, and Patricia Grogan, dated May 18th, May 18th. And it's from me. It says, I hereby resign my position as police chief for the town of Queens Police Department, effective June 15th, 2026. It's been a privilege to lead the department as it navigates the current list of social, societal changes within the town, county, state, and country. I've been doing this for 45 years. I don't know.
You can't do that.
I'm sorry. So during the last 4 years, the department has been revitalized and received increased training, internal management, resources, and networking with other local, county, and state law enforcement. And they do provide the best possible service to the residents of the town. Officers are equipped with the latest equipment and tools to provide exceptional response capabilities. I don't want to go into a list of what we put in the cars and the training that they receive, but believe me, if something happens of the worst nature, they're prepared without going into details. And I think that's worth every dollar that we spend on it. Plus the quality of people we have has been increased, and I think we have some very dedicated, committed folks down here. So there are several key competent officers within the department that would provide a steady hand as chief, and I'm glad to assist whoever is chosen by the board. I look forward to helping them on and continuing what we're building. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you so much for your service. As you said, you have 45 years to leave law enforcement and then come back voluntarily. That's
You
huge.
said I'm mentally ill.
Well, I would have, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Be surely missed.
Sure.
Absolutely, Chief. I'm gonna miss our talks. I really enjoyed it.
Lively spirited talks that we had.
Yeah. Yeah, they were the highlights of my Friday. Thanks. Gonna miss you. Make a motion to accept the police chief's report.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Mr. Chemalinsky, thanks for joining us.
Good evening, everyone. Chief, thank you for your service. For that. Building Department report for the month of April of 2026. Permits issued were 15. Certificates of occupancy or compliance were also 15. 3 operating permits were issued. We had 1 stop work order. Notice of violations sent in the mail were 1. Fire inspections on a multi-dwellings were 1. Fire inspections on commercially were 9. Fire inspection on vacant buildings were 4. Fire inspections on public assemblies were 1. Building complaints, we had 15 for the month. Building inspections are 55. We had 1 renewed permit. Building fees for the month were $3,712.50. We have 1 area variance, we have 1 use variance, and 1 lot line adjustment right now at Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals. Zoning fees were $450. We had 3 property searches. Miscellaneous fees were $300. The total for the month was $462.50.
Thanks, Jason. We have to make a motion to accept the building department report for April.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Good evening, Board. Here's the report, April 26th, the monthly report for the sewer department. We had 22,491 gallons for the sewer plant and at a monthly rate of 750,000. We removed 28 tons of solids at 18%. Percent removal was 83 and 97. The 83 is a low, our lowest is 85. And that's all from the settability problems that we had for the last couple of months, so that's why that's down. And we had 3 inches of rain for the month. And we spent $90,394.24. And you see the big ticket item down there for Evans, that's for the lift station at Riverview. That's all in, and we'll have a lockdown date maybe by tomorrow, but when? Just on texting him today, trying to get on phone, we've been playing phone tag for a while, so he just said that he'd have a number for me, or date when they restart. So let's see what else we have here. That's about it. We're putting a fiber optic in down at the plant. We run all the cable, we did the trenching, we got all the we got the conduit in the ground, and the state telephone will be there next week.
And that's for the high-speed internet?
Yes.
Great.
We did all the work. We rented the machine from Fink, just a trencher, and went down through there. And so we got it all the way to the building.
Excellent. All right. Make a motion to accept the sewer report for April.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Highway report.
Everything's going great on highway, no issues, the crews absolutely outstanding. I can't say enough about the help they've given me. We're keeping up with the mowing, the weed eating. We got 3 high school seniors that are gonna come aboard with us. I told them I'd like to start them June 22nd. So I will give Linda all the proper paperwork so she can forward it on, so you guys can do a resolution to start them on the 22nd, hopefully. We've changed a few culverts, getting ready for some paving. I'm looking at doing Rutkowitz, Vandersea, and Marshall Road. The culverts that are being replaced are old galvanized, and the bottoms are going right out of them. So we're putting in new plastic. The gazebo's getting prepped for some paint. Candace, you said the paint's coming in soon, right?
Yep, actually, I'll give them a call tomorrow and see it should be coming this week.
So that's gonna have a fresh coat of paint for the celebration coming up next month. The new shed for the highway department, that's gonna be delivered on June 8th, Monday, June 8th. So we'll be getting that. There was a 3rd boat dropped off on North Jarvis. That's sitting over at the landfill with the other 2. Chief, you're still looking into?
So there's been a case involving
boats, and the last one is a 30-footer, being dumped on the sides of North Jarvis Road. I think all of them are. 2 sailboats and another boat. So I think we're up to 4 or 5 altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's going on is, subject to giving away the boats. Nobody wants the boats, but they want the trailers to scrap at the port and get money for drugs. That's what's going on. So it's a simple dumping fine if we were to pursue it. So NCON, and who knew? NCON has boats that are dumped on the sides of roads have a fine structure for doing that dumping from $3,700 to $37,000. So rather than give them a ticket that they can pay for dumping, we're going to have NCON effect that arrest. They're looking at a suspect right now, and so we're going to have to get rid of the boats because we have to. Our job is to remove things like that that are hazardous along the roadway. But we think we've tracked down who is responsible, and when NCON effects that arrest, then yeah, like he's going to pay. But at least he's going to have to go to court for charges more significant than a dumping ticket. But it is a problem. It will cost us money to do so. When the time comes, we're going to smash them up as long as we have clear title and dispose of them in a landfill. You learn something every day.
The gentleman that was supposed to be hired for the operators, the driver's position, he was supposed to start last Tuesday. He backed out. He wanted to stay where he was. So that job is being reposted. We're having trouble with our fuel system. Everybody received an email on it. Okay, just so we're on the same page, because I haven't heard from anybody. The fuel system is just so obsolete. The company that come down, it ended up being $1,100. He spent all day there trying to fix it, and he was on the phone to the people in Texas that designed that, and they couldn't even figure it out. So before we get $5,000-$6,000 into that, I got the quote for the new system. I think it was $13,800 or somewhere thereabouts. Are we good to go on that?
Yeah, we already agreed to that. I don't remember that. We thought we were going to repair and just replace it.
Yeah, replace it with the new system, $13,800, I think it was.
Because what do you use it for, George? Is it just to verify who's using what percentage of fuel?
Well, yeah, it keeps track of everybody that gets fuel, how much, what, if they get diesel, gas.
Okay.
That machine also supposed to make the new keys. We can't make keys for anybody new coming in. We can't add people, delete people, nothing. All you can do is get fuel out there. But it is recording it as it goes along. But we can't do keys or add people, nothing. It's done.
There were 3 quotes that were sent, correct?
I don't think so. I think it was just a price. It was just a 13,000. It was just in an email. I don't think there were quotes, just the one that.
I was told in a case of an
Emergency situation.
You didn't need 3 quotes. So I got a quote from the company that was down here. They're a reputable company,
And this may be a case of sole sourcing
Right.
as well.
that's all I got.
Yeah, so I think, are you getting, whether you have the money in your budget or whether we take it out of fund balance, I mean, it's got to be fixed, so.
So I say, go ahead with it, right?
Yeah,
My recollection from the last time we looked at this, I think in connection with the sewer system, was that this board may need to declare that it's an emergency to allow the procurement without going through, setting aside whether, if it's sole source, that might be different. But if it's not sole source and you want to do it on an emergency basis without going through the standard bid process, you would just, this board would declare that it is in fact an emergency and authorize that.
I think we agreed that it was, an emergency before, so motion to declare that an emergency to repair.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
George, before you go, couple of questions and comments. The tennis courts at Jarlman Park, tennis/pickleball.
Yeah.
There's a couple of big cracks on the court itself.
Okay.
And I think they can be managed right now with some sort of repair before too much water gets in those cracks and really expands and opens up those cracks.
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring that to your attention and, have you take a look at that and kind of price out and figure out what we can do to kind of fix that.
Somebody and see what they would use for something like that.
Yeah, because we paid a lot of money to, redo those cords and, I'd just like to kind of take care of it sooner than later before it's a huge problem and a huge mess.
Yep.
The other thing is we had the flag placement ceremony this past weekend, and I noticed that there's some headstones that are moved they're kind of off balance now or off center. I think Lisa reached out to you. One of them specifically is her Uncle Tommy's. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Maybe you can talk to the guys. I'm not saying, it's their fault. I don't know how it was moved, but I think there are stones that have been moved and pushed off center. So if you could just remind the guys, that, bumping into them with the machines will definitely cause the stones to move and, just.
We'll have to go through and straighten some of them up.
Okay, cool. And then you mentioned that you are looking to do Ruckowitz, Vandersea, and Marshall Road. Can you provide the board with a little bit of explanation as to why and how you chose those 3 roads?
They are in well, first of all, we have a lot of roads in terrible shape, but there's 3, and they're right there close to each other. I figured I'd start with them 3 first. I know how rough they are, and it was just based on that, just in that central location right there. I don't have more money, or I'd like to do more roads.
Sure. Yeah, that's always the problem that we have is we only have a select amount of money to.
If I had $500,000 every year to do roads for 5 years, I still wouldn't catch up.
Right.
But
No, I just wanted to kind of pick your brain and kind of.
they were just selected in the condition they are and where they are all together.
George, in your knowledge, what are a couple other bad roads in town that you've seen that are on the list eventually?
There's Bucks Ranch is absolutely terrible.
Spoke about that at the beginning.
Waterboard is terrible.
Tracy's in pretty bad shape.
Tracy in certain sections, Lindskog in certain sections. But some roads are just so long, it would take your whole paving budget to do them, and there just is not enough money to go around.
Okay. Thank you.
And George, you're getting quotes to have those roads done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. 4 quotes.
Who are you getting quotes from?
I was getting Precision Paving, Peckham, Calaruso, and Louise.
How about Callahan?
I didn't call them.
Is there any reason why?
No.
Would you consider calling Callahan's?
If they
Getting a quote?
want to put a bid in, they're welcome to.
And Heidelberg? Did you think about Heidelberg?
No, I didn't.
I just know that Heidelberg and Callahan's, they're, within our town.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, I didn't.
George, did you give them a date that they have to have their bids in by?
By June 15th.
Okay. Did you do it via email or?
No, I handed out
Okay.
paper myself.
Did you give them a June 15 at a specific time or just by the end of the day?
No, just by June 15th.
Okay.
And what work I wanted, the TNL with how much overlay on top and how many feet the road is, and
Can you get us a copy of what you sent out or what you provided them? Just so that we can be sure.
Can you write that in an email and send it to me?
I got one right out in the truck, actually. I'll give it to you tonight.
Okay.
That's fine. And are they bringing them to my office, sealed bids?
I received one so far, email.
Okay.
So I don't know if the others are gonna drop it off or go email or how they're gonna do it.
All right.
Okay.
Do they have to be sealed bids?
We might want to just take a look at the process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll get that from you. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Can I just have one request for our next meeting? Can we just have a copy of your report? So that we have a paper copy, so that you're explaining to us what you did and what you're doing, just,
Okay,
thank you.
He gave me his copy, so I'll email this all
Perfect.
to you tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay. Even if you email it to us, that's fine too, just, perfect.
Further discussion? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to accept the highway report for April.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
That brings us to old business. So there was an open house at Peter B. Queeman's, I think, for the public. I just want to go through a bit of a comprehensive timeline of where we're at with the truck traffic study. I don't know if you're aware, but it was released on the 30th of October, 2025. And then Albany County Alliance stated that they retained Bowler Engineering and Creighton Manning March of this year. And along with Legislator Collins, we wrote and agreed that so much of this traffic truck issue stems from lack of communication, and we should have access on agreed upon set of facts. And Zach had written back that he was working to obtain a specific RFP and engagement documents. The next day, I reached out to Capital Region Transportation Council because I was having an issue finding the RFP on the BidNet Direct site. So I contacted their director, and she responded that she reached out to Albany County staff and got the same information as the press release, and she was certain that that Creighton Manning and Bowler would be holding a kickoff meeting soon to review the scope of work. What we were looking for, and what we're still looking for, is the scope of work in the RFP, so we know what the engineers are working off of. April 15th, we contacted our legislator again, Zach Collins, and to request a scope of work and engagement documents. And he responded, I assure you I have, as I have before, that once I receive the scope of work, you'll be my first call. And then a couple of days later, I updated the board on the DEC seeker meeting to let them know that the town of Queens stated it wished to address the two key issues of truck traffic volume and a defined timeline of the traffic study for a project completion, so that we're all up to date and working with the same information. In May, 14th of May, Creighton Manning sent out the Port of Queens truck study open house flyer, and that was about it. We were still looking for a scope of work. So at the open house meeting, I talked to Jeremy Smith of ACA. He states that the scope of work had been done for some time. I asked him if we could receive a copy. He said yes, and then the next day I did a follow-up email requesting the scope of work and a request for proposals, in the attempt for the town to gain a clearer understanding of the study timeline and process so that we may more effectively respond to the residents' questions and provide informed updates regarding the study as it progresses. I also asked for information including next steps of the traffic study. It's our feeling that the town should have been provided with and consulted during the draft of the scope of work because it's extremely important. As you see, these maps are here that they had displayed for us at the meeting, and they're essentially the route alternatives that have been discussed for some time now. The issues that we are having is that the town and the village were not included in the draft of or the scope of work. The town and the village are not included in the study of the goal determinations, and you can see the goal determinations are on that poster board over there. And the town and village are not included in describing the purpose or the need for the study. And it seems as if the traffic study only focuses on the traffic coming out of the quarry, as you can see from the poster boards. And the study does not focus on the traffic coming out of the port. It also doesn't focus on the volume of heavy truck traffic. And the study doesn't focus on the winter months of the salt truck volume. We are continuing to try to get a scope of work so that we can understand if there's anything more than what is being presented on the 26th. So I also provided an overview on the town website, the importance of a scope of work, and I had reached out, well, residents are reaching out to me, and I've got an email from a professional engineer from New Baltimore who was at the meeting. He had a few comments about the open house, which I'd like to read. I told him, he sent this late this afternoon, told him I'd read a few of these. The first one is that the traffic study website is not accepting all of the information that he's putting into it. He also thought that the informational flyer should have included Selkirk and New Baltimore. He also thought it should have made clear that it would be an open, well, I did say it was an open house, but people in the residents that I were talking to were very surprised that it wasn't an open form of talking back and forth, like a formal Q&A. He has complained that there was insufficient chairs and tables and pens for people to sit down and write out their comments. Also, he had a comment that name badges should have been worn by the consultants and the elected officials so that attendees knew who they were. It is quite a thing when there's 50 people in a room to pick out who is representing who, which agency. Creighton, he does say that a Creighton Manning official had a shirt on, and he was very professional. Those were his comments on that.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
Peter Maluski. He's a professional engineer and fellow of the Society of Civil Engineers. So if this is his professional opinion.
Was he a resident of the town of Queens?
No, he's New Baltimore. And he had quite a few things to say about the New Baltimore route alternative D. But just to push that forward, the town's view, specifically the supervisor's office, needs the scope of work in order to be able to communicate to the residents exactly what the traffic study is going to entail. And if this is it, then we know what we're working from. But still, I have not received a formal scope of work, and we obviously weren't included in the draft of it. So it's our opinion that it's my opinion that in several residents that I talked to, that meeting after meeting, the residents continue to carry the burden, and it feels, and people had said this to me at the open house, it was just another stall walking through, dressed up as progress. So I'm bringing you the residents' point of views and the questions that they are asking. That's why I put it on the website. In the town Facebook page. If you have questions, please ask them. I am getting them by email, and I'll start to post them. Really didn't have time to do it today because it was a very busy day, but I'll start to do that tomorrow morning and afternoon. We had also invited, or Zach actually wanted to come down here and also give an update on the open house. So we're very pleased to have you.
Before Zach starts, Supervisor, did you, prior to the open house, did you have conversations with Mr. Collins or anybody from the Albany County Alliance to?
Several. As a matter of fact, I wasn't going to include this letter. I wrote an email to Albany County Alliance, Empire State Development, and Albany County Executive's Office back in 2024 when they were doing offshore wind, in order to let them know that the town wanted a voice in the decisions that they were making, because it was clear that the town had no voice, and residents are asking, why are we being denied this right of having a voice in this process that's going to affect us and our children's generations? So that's why I'm bringing that.
So you've had conversations with Mr. Collins?
Yeah, just read
About
the emails. You've been on them, going back and forth, asking for a scope of work since March. Yeah.
But no, like, follow-up phone call or anything?
No, plenty of phone calls. Every single meeting we've had, I've asked for a scope of work since the beginning, because I thought the town, it's crucial for them to be involved in the draft of it before the final product, before residents had a chance to come in and actually ask their questions before posters were printed out. And it does seem like this is just a routing exercise and not addressing volume at all.
Supervisor, what did I just provide you with?
Thank you. This looks like a
What does that
scope
say?
of work.
Scope of work. So I received that today. I requested to come here today, and I brought it to you today. Nothing? So I did what I said I was gonna do, didn't I?
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that when I spoke with Jeremy Smith of the Albany County Alliance, I asked him, was there a scope of work? And he said, yes, we've had it for quite some time.
No, they had that draft of it. They finalized it. That is the finalized scope of work that I received from Jeremy Stevens today.
Thank you for bringing it to us.
Just want to clarify that up. I know you've been asking about scope of work.
Since March, yeah.
How do you do a project like this without getting community input, which is what the open house was? Was there a comment box there?
Yes, I put that in the website,
So would that be
In
community
Facebook?
input?
obviously.
Okay. Did we have meetings where the community was involved with Senator Fahey's staff and DEC at the firehouse?
We've had no draft of scope of work up to this
I didn't
point.
ask you that. I just asked you, did we have a meeting at the firehouse?
We've had
Community
several
members.
meetings,
With community
several
members?
meetings, dozens of
The answer would be yes.
Actually, dozens of meetings, yes.
Okay.
And the residents are coming to me saying, why are these meetings a stall tactic? And I said,
Stall tactic, sir. That is absolutely egregious. So.
well, I'm telling you,
Brought
what
it-
the residents
you're
are
gonna
saying to
stop
me.
interrupting me because I'm up here speaking on a
Well,
truck.
go ahead and speak and stop asking me questions. If you want to speak, then speak. If you want to ask
Speaking is
questions,
asking a
expect
question,
an
sir.
answer.
I'm going to, I do expect answers, not runarounds.
So did the
A
residents.
stall tactic. December 14th, 2023, I sent a letter to Governor Kathy Hochul asking for a new throughway exit in Ravena. No reply. February 16th, 2024, I met with Senator Breslin to discuss bringing in a throughway exit. He advised me that that would be very difficult to work with New York State DOT, but he would try. December 31st, Breslin stepped down, which stalled. August 14th, 2024, I launched a letter campaign to the governor encouraging residents to write in support of the throughway exit. Right after that time, I realized that the throughway exit was a big ask, so I talked to Danny McCoy on what we could do. He announced that we were going to do a truck traffic study. January 13th, 2026, I spoke to the County Department of Public Works about erecting temporary or permanent signage about speed limits and jake brakes. They kicked it off to the State Department of Transportation. These efforts led to a further discussion between county and DOT. I'll get back to that in a second. January 30th, 2026, New York State DOT opens a case on the issue of speed limit, truck-related crashes, and trucks speeding on 143 and 144. Now, I spoke to Greg Wisher today, New York State DOT Region 1 Planning, and that is still ongoing. It could take 12 to 16 months, but it is ongoing. That is a very big deal. The thing that is holding them up is a MUTCD, which is a new Manual of Uniform Traffic Devices. They have to go through, there's new rules on striping, signage, speed limits, so that's holding them up right now. I asked him about the lack of shoulder on 144. New York State DOT has a preservation process of roads, he stated, where they don't like changing what the roads were. But he assured me that if we receive data from the truck traffic study, we could provide reasons and justify and meet the safety criteria to widen the road. Upon our conversation, I further asked him, how do we maintain momentum in this traffic study to get results? Here's what he said. The Albany County study was a big win. And I don't mean to say that I did something. This is not about that. But if you're going to get up here and blast blast a truck traffic study where we need help on and speak for the village, which I've spoke to the village, I know you don't speak for the village in that capacity. That was an overstep. And blast it. That is absolutely horrible. Now, those, I don't like them either. I don't. And I think we really need to focus on singles and what we could do. Sending our truck traffic to New Baltimore and sending our truck traffic to Selkirk is not the answer. It's not the answer. It could mitigate some things, but it is not the answer, okay? Widening the road, that's an answer. Getting the speed limit reduced, that's an answer. Coming out of maybe Jarvis Road North, that's an answer. You put this up there, you get community input, now you're tightening the ship. So now the Alliance is gonna take all the comments that we got, that we received from the open house, and we're going to define where we're gonna go and where the residents wanna go. For you to say that residents have not felt heard on this issue makes no sense. We've had a letter writing campaign, a petition writing campaign, an open house. We've had meetings here. So that is awful for you to say. And I need your support as well. And I don't have it. And that's a shame because of the people on Mountain Road Extension and the people on 101 and the people on 144. That's a shame. Do you have a scope of work for what you want to do?
Just
Your
Q&A
truck traffic
time?
study. Yeah, answer. Do you have a scope of work?
I'm not an engineer and I'm not doing this. I'm speaking for the residents. You're framing like these, and you're getting ready to interrupt me right now, and you just asked the question, Zach. Do you want an answer?
I do
Or
want
do you
the
want to
answer.
perform some more?
I want the answer.
The answer is the residents come to me, and I represent 7,300 people. So I listen to everything that they have to say, and then I bring it to you. These are not my opinions. This is what I'm bringing to you from the residents. Hopefully that you can help us. You're saying that they're going to do something on 144. 144 is nowhere on any one of these. It's not in the scope of work.
I said to DOT,
So-
I talked to New York State DOT today. So a
New
problem,
York State DOT is different from Albany County Alliance, it's different from Albany County Executive's Office, and it's different from New York State. And there are competing interests here. My job dictates that the interest of the residents is protected. That's what I am doing.
so why
I hope I've made that very clear to you.
Why I
This is not
interrupted
me.
you- why
This
I
is
interrupted
me
you-
representing the
I
residents.
understand, and that's
Now you can speak.
why I interrupted you. You just said all that, and you still didn't answer my question. Do you have a scope of work for what you want to do for a truck traffic study?
This is a ridiculous question. It's not my job to come up with a scope of work for a
Okay,
truck traffic.
Well, then we'll go with this. We'll go with this. You said to me at the open house meeting, we're in the data collection phase. Does that ring a bell to you? Because there's 4 other people standing there that can confirm that.
Yeah. Thank you for providing the scope of work. Once we review it as a board, we will have more information and listen to the residents, and we'll be able to answer intelligently about their concerns, which they have been expressing to us for years.
Absolutely.
For years.
From one elected official to another elected official, can we please be cordial and respectful of each other?
That would be amazing. Okay, let's
That would
do
be
that.
nice. I would like that.
I am,
I understand.
thank you.
I would like that. So you don't have a scope of work for your truck traffic study?
Could you define what you mean by that? I'm not quite sure I understand.
You want a scope of work, and you just probably said scope of work 15 times. What did you expect a scope of work to be from the Albany County Alliance? Like if you want it, you know what it is. So I just provided you with one. Do you have one for your truck traffic study?
We're not doing a truck traffic study. The town of Queens is not
The
doing one.
one that you are proposing to do.
Are you talking about Mountain Road Extension, Lansing's
Oh.
study that we're still debating and proposing?
You have a scope of work?
I mean, there's a proposed contract from Lansing Engineering that I believe contains some type of a scope of work, although it's within a larger contract as opposed to being a separate document like this.
But also too, we were told,
Hang on,
Zach.
real quick, 1 second. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Would a scope of work be better defined after you receive community input?
I don't wanna get into the middle of this, but I will.
No, just,
Nor should
I
you.
would ask,
Here's what I would offer.
I don't think you
I think,
should.
I think a scope of,
Mr. Collins is addressing the board, Mr. Riley.
Yes, I don't think you should.
Would a scope of work be better and more definitive if it had all the community's input?
I think a scope of
That's what
work.
we were asking for at the very beginning.
Okay, so we
Went back
just-
to October
this is my
of
point.
2024.
We just had an open house. They showed us this stuff. We need this community input. You called it a stall tactic to hide lack of progression. And you
By the way,
expect.
those aren't my
me-
words. I was speaking to a resident who said that to me
Okay,
at
well
the
then-
open house.
Okay.
This has been going on for 10 years. This road study, they
Oh,
haven't changed
I
anything in 10
understand.
years, so
I'm
it's a song and
totally-
dance.
I'm totally.
This is a song and dance, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of
So,
time.
Mr. Collins,
It's been 10 years.
Mr.
Same
Collins.
Proposal for 10 years, still going by my
That's not the
house,
same proposal.
but
Pete.
they didn't, you need a throughway exit or a conveyor belt. That's the two
Mr.
things
Collins, can I just ask you a question? This tentative scope of work that we have, the one thing that I know that's important is timing of this study is key. When the traffic is heaviest, when they're hauling salt and stuff like that. We obviously don't want to have this traffic study done when it's a lull. Have they discussed that? Do you know, like, will this town have a say as to when this gets done so that we're looking at the big picture and not during the slowest time?
Has a say right now and will have a say in anything that will proceed with this. And the town has a say right now into what they'll do on their own roads. So this study is to provide you guys with data. It is not gonna come in and hammer down and say, this is what the town's gonna do. It's gonna give you the data so you can decide. But guess what? You're not gonna be able to decide what's going on a county road or a state road. That's why they're included. And Main Street's a state road. 144 is a state road. 396 is a state road. That's why the state is involved. And I'm sorry, sir, for making this a bigger project so it can't focus on your project. I'm sorry.
It's not that, but this.
It's not a waste, but hang on, one sec. A waste of time, there's an issue here and I'm trying to work on
I
it.
understand that, Zach, but this, I mean, they talked about an exit for 10 years. That's the only way to stop the
Pete,
traffic
I
from
was the
going in
first
port.
one to bring an exit up,
I
and it was in
understand that, but the
2023, that's
state
3
won't
years
do
ago.
anything. The state is the problem, not you.
I
You've
talked
done
to
everything
somebody
you
from the
possibly can.
state today who talked about widening roads and lowering speed limits. Is that a single? Is that something we could say, hey, at least we got a little something? You want all or nothing? I want you to get.
What happens when they get the Fast New York grant and all that trucking
Pete, that's not
starts
for
in
me
there?
to decide.
But that's add more trucking to the road.
So time out. Don't do your study because this is a waste of time and we're gonna get more
No,
trucks on the road.
this
You
is,
just-
this
that
is
makes no
one
sense.
study. What happens when they add 200 more trucks a day to the route?
Okay, so we'll take the
So,
data.
so
from that
Keith,
study and say,
But Mr.
can we focus a little bit?
Mr. Collins, can you direct the board and we can
Yes,
see
you're
the
right.
public
I
comment?
apologize.
Sorry, Mr. Geraldson, but we have to stay, we have an agenda.
So,
Thank you.
I would just like to add, as we were talking about timelines, Anne Marie Solomon of Albany County Executive Planning had stated on a call, I'm not sure if you were on it because I was on the telephone part of it, I couldn't see who was in the Zoom call.
No, I didn't make that
Had
one.
stated that she was hoping and they were hoping to finish this study by summer. So, and I believe someone had posed the question.
And I talked to Kevin about that. We can't finish it in the summer. But now, again, stall tactics. You want me to hurry up, but you don't want me to finish before summertime. We can't finish in the summertime. We have to do it in the winter to get the salt traffic. So I'm getting yelled at for stalling. I'm getting yelled at. Guys,
As our legislator, can you go and ask her why she would state that, sort of get?
I will push on that. Look,
Thanks.
nothing is defined, nothing definitive, because we need so much community input. This is going to evolve. It's going to move like this. So if you want a definitive scope of work, you're not going to get it right now because we're defining everything as we go. Now, guess what? Keith made a good point. We got the New York Fast grant on us. Has Bowler Engineering considered that? No. I'm not going to half-ass this project. and you want to do your own truck traffic study for Keys Road to see what you can provide for him quicker, all to you. I'm all about it. But I'm not stopping this study because it's going to help this town. I believe it wholeheartedly. It's going to give you guys the data you need.
That's why we want to be a part of developing it, because that is a question you would ask of a scope of work is, are you projecting into the future what that is going to be? What is it going to look like? Are you accounting for projects that are right on the back burner that are coming up? These are all the questions that we as a board, while they're developing a draft scope of work, would ask. Are you looking at volume? Are you looking at salt trucks? There are a million things to look at in the scope of work. I'm surprised this is 3 pages, because typically scope of works that I've seen are booklets.
So, look, great points. You're putting the cart before the horse.
I don't think
What's
so.
going to come after this comment section? We're having to set up another meeting with Albany County Alliance because this isn't going to do it. Who's going to be in that meeting? Bruce is going to be in that meeting. Donnelly's going to be in that meeting. Senator Fahey's going to be in that meeting. You're not letting it evolve.
Zach, this shouldn't have ever been formed without input from the town and the village. Whoever this is costing.
This is a high draft, and we're going to get down to here. We're going to get down to here.
The one thing I will interject and say, unfortunately, I was not able to be at the meeting on Tuesday. I did email them to let them know that I couldn't be in attendance. I did email the whole board to make sure that this board had representation. Thank you for getting back to me. I texted you.
No, who did you email?
This whole board.
Who did you reach out to and said you couldn't be?
I scanned the QR code. It went to an email. I sent an email. I told them I couldn't attend. I really wanted to be there. I asked them if they were going, if there was a video, or
So the ACA.
A recording.
so yeah, I did get, my point is, I got a response back immediately. They explained to me that the purpose of this was more of an open house to get this information out to the town. It wasn't, but they do plan on doing more. So I will say for everyone sitting here and anyone that's looking on TV and anyone else that has questions, if you have a question, if you have a suggestion, if you have an idea, scan it, go online, it's all over social media, send them the feedback.
Email me.
Email Zach, email here on the board, we can forward it on. If everybody sitting here is not in denial that truck traffic is an issue. And I am going to tell you, I recently heard that a resident of this town said, well, we have to get rid of the trucks. You get rid of the trucks, you might as well bury this town. We have an industrial zone down here. Some of our members in this community, they work for these companies. We need truck traffic. So to sit here and say get rid of it, we need to continue working together. Not sitting here back and forth screaming at Zach or vice versa, whatever. We need to work together. Thank you for coming tonight, immensely. I saw these maps that Candace picked up and provided for us and brought here. This is, to me, I mean, I just stepped into this on January. But for the past 2 or 3 years that I've been watching, I personally think this is the most that we've gotten to go forward to make progress. So if we want to sit here and continue arguing, we need to work together regardless of our differences, send these emails, send these questions, and keep going. A throughway exit, Keith, I would love a throughway exit. You're dealing with the federal government now. We need to work together at the town and the state so we can make progress.
Okay, so yeah, and nobody here is saying that we're going to eliminate, because no one wants to, and it's not even possible.
I'm just
to
saying what a
eliminate
town
truck
resident did
traffic.
as well as what, I'm just commenting on it.
Yeah,
thing.
so
So-
we know that's an unreasonable person making that statement, so you have both sides. We're trying to find the middle is what we're doing. And the point that I'm trying to make is that the town and the village need to be included at the very inception of these conversations before anything else. And if that's how we're making, if that's how we're moving forward, that's great. If now they
Has
reach
anyone
out
on
to
this
the
board
town and the
sent emails?
village.
We had a gentleman here.
I told you back in 2024.
No.
2024, I started a conversation with the Albany County Alliance, EFC, and
So if you
the
have
Albany
that,
Executive's
Supervisor.
office in order to say the town of Queens needs to have a voice in these projects, whether it's offshore wind, whether it's a data center, they need our input. This is all I'm saying. That's it.
So if you, hold on.
And there's
So-
a timeline
So if you
showing that.
If you had those contacts and you were asserting yourself, then how come we don't have answers to these questions?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm asking you as the
I'm
supervisor.
asking our Albany County
That's
legislator
fine, but-
because once again.
That's not on Zach. That is not on Zach.
You just said that you got these emails. Hold on.
We're
Excuse
starting
me.
to
Hold
lose
on.
control.
It is not public
because
comment time.
If the board has questions, perhaps that we can have these discussions not in a public forum. What I did was put out
that's
exactly
fine.
what the town is asking me to do, which is to put their interests forward. Albany County has interests, New York State has interests. Those are competing interests. What I'm saying is the town needs to have a voice because the residents are asking me to say that out loud in a public forum.
Supervisor, you don't think I've gotten comments
I'm sure you
from
have. I'm
residents?
sure you have. So
I'm
thank you
just-
for the scope of work. I think that we're moving forward. We're making progress. I will.
You think we're moving forward, making
send out
progress?
more emails
No.
to see who
I just want to know, like, so because you had those connections, and because you're looking to be inserted into these discussions, I'm kind of confused as to that's your goal for the town of Queens.
Right.
And you've had email traffic with these individuals, but you're saying that you got absolutely zero response back?
Correct. And one of the emails that you were on, I said that Albany County,
From the Alliance?
that Kevin O'Connor's email wasn't working, and you said I have the same. I said, do you have a different email? And you said I have the same exact emails.
So you
So
talked to
he's
Jeremy?
either responding because he's not getting emails or because he doesn't want to. I can't predict.
I'm not answering.
Exactly. Neither am I. So you're asking me questions that have to do with why
Submit
people
your
aren't responding.
comments.
So
I'm not
town of
saying, I'm not
Queens.
asking you why, I'm just trying to confirm that you have asserted yourself as the town supervisor.
That's why I went through the whole timeline.
But you're talking
going
about
back
an
to
email going back to
October 31st.
2024.
Right. That's where this
It's
started.
now 2026, and knowing that
Correct,
there's.
because the town of
I'm
Queens
not gonna talk
wasn't
over
in
you.
on the conversation during the offshore wind project. That's when we put forward, we need to have these conversations. The town of Queens needs to be on board along with Orsted and all the other companies, Riggs Distler, in order to move forward.
Personal.
Yeah, again, I just would think
My
that
opinion.
if you've had these,
My
excuse me,
Yeah,
this is
obviously
a town board
a
meeting.
contentious issue.
Mrs. Tanner, can you wait for public comment? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was Zach's,
Can you wait?
Zach was making his.
Mr. Collins,
his
thank
statements.
you very much.
Ms. Tanner, yes, please, could you wait until public comment time? Because we need to move on to the next,
Yeah, it's
old
not
business.
public comment time.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Just keep it
you.
in mind and
So-
we'll get to you.
I wanted to speak for a while now. Zach left, but again, I wanted to thank you for the scope of work. I would have liked to see us before the meeting, but at least we have it. And again, I think the whole point for the scope of work is to see, what is the timing of this thing? What's the responsibilities? Really, scope of work is a foundational thing for every start of a project. What it's going to show, what it's going to prove. And, as I'm looking at this, I want to make sure because, listen, we are a town of 7,200, 300 people that if you live below Martins Hill, you are saturated with truck traffic. It's true. And we have various routes. They're all being used. So I look at these maps and, again, I know they tried, but I'm not too impressed. I think we've all thought of these routes and how we could divert traffic. It's getting to the point, though, where are you going to divert it to? We've diverted it in every single road we have that's a major, ferro through from the quarry to the thruway. So again, I think one of the concerns of a lot of people I talk to is rerouting. We've tried this before. We kick the can down the road to somebody else to bear the burden of truck traffic. So I don't want to see how can we reroute something to hurt another part of our town. I want to see, can we find a real solution to this? And we really have to be forward thinking here. This is not a simple present day issue. We may or may not have more industry coming from Fast New York grant, right? So let's not just focus on what we have now. You could assume that if that is Albany County Alliance's intention to have more industry in this town, well, more industry is coming and more trucks are coming. Where are they going to go? So we have a current problem and we have a future problem. We should be looking in the scope of work at both of those issues to see if we can find a solution. Because I don't know if there is a good solution other than maybe a throughway exit. I mean, where else are you gonna put the trucks? They're on every single road. I also don't like in those that, they sort of stop at the port. Every single truck route where there's major trucks should be on a red line there. And from the New York State Thruway all the way to the port, 144 should without a doubt be there, because I know for a fact that in the wintertime, there's 1,000 18-wheelers going up and down 144 for 5 months out of the year. So that's a problem I see right away. But I'm willing to work with them. I'm glad they're trying to do it, but I think what Albany County wants might not be the same as what the town of Queeman necessarily wants, right? It's easy to say, let's bring this, let's bring this. I just think we have to make sure what Albany County wants, we're getting input, we're getting feedback, we're in the conversation so that we can, they can value our opinion as well. I don't want to be a dumping ground for anything that Albany County has for an agenda. I want to be part of the conversation so we can try to figure out things in tandem. And secondly, as I look at the scope of work, Zach talked about widening roads. I mean, 144, if you go down 144, where are you going to widen them to? Inside people's dining rooms? I mean, it's literally, some homes are right on the road, and you want to take 4 more feet? I would say that's a hard no. Speed limit, 144. I mean, I go down 144 every day for work. I'm sure some of you do too. Lower the speed limit? I don't know. I mean, do you want to be stuck at 45 miles an hour behind a truck or 55? And I know it's a safety versus, trying to get to work as quick as you can issue, but at the same time, things we got to look at. I just don't want to kick the can down the road by trying to reroute things. And at the same time, we're going to reroute it and we're going to add more. Let's just move slowly with everything.
And what I think we have to remember too is that this traffic study is a $50,000 study that's being performed by Albany County or the Advanced Albany County Alliance.
Sure.
So what I don't want to do is I don't want to kick a gift horse in the mouth and proceed with getting our local Mountain Road Extension road study done, which is a road study, not a traffic study. So I think there's definitely variables and points that we have to consider and we have to take into effect. But again, I don't want there to be this issue between the town of Queens, our Albany County Legislature, and what ultimately gets back to, the Alliance and the county exec, because at the end of the day, they may end up saying, peace out, town of Queens, you figure it out yourself. And we're not in a position to expend that kind of money on that kind of study.
Well, so
we also tell them we're not for sale either.
To that is,
I understand.
A response to that is, this study could very well put Queens in a worse position. This study could very well say, you know what, the port can expand. Traffic can be even more than this. That's what a scope of work is for, is to tell us what you're trying to accomplish with this study.
How can a road study expand the Port of Queens?
And how can this put us in a bad position? Because this board and our planning board, we still have a say on what's going to happen. So a study is not going to.
Well, the planning boards
Unless the
and the
state
town
came
board
in.
will take what they have to say and go, well, look, it says it right here in the report.
But it doesn't mean that this board or the planning and zoning board has to do. It's going to be recommendations. It's going to be whatever they find. It doesn't mean that it's going to put us in a worse position. I don't know. Twice, though, I heard the New York Fast Grant. We have Mr. Laraway coming here in 2 weeks. There may be a very good chance. I know very little about the Fast Grant because I was not on this board when it came through the first time. There could be a very good chance that with this study, this board, the Fast Grant, we might be able to make progress. I have no idea what Nick is going to speak on behalf. I believe he got more money. I don't know. So maybe we all agree right now. We've heard from Mr. Collins. We've heard from us. Let's move on for sake of people that are sitting here.
Well, no,
Ms.
McHugh.
McHugh would like to speak.
I'm invoking the right as town clerk as opposed to just a member of the public. I just want to remind the board that the only roads that you have a say in are Lime Kiln, which you own up to the gate, Mountain Road Extension, North Jarvis. So I think it would be best if you all concentrated on those problems more so than 144 143 or 396. You are not going to fix them, but you do have the power to put weight limits and restrictions on other roads that you own. And you have 3 roads that are of high interest right now for that. So maybe if we could focus on those 3 roads and figure out what we can do as a community for that, we can let this expand and get the data that this is collecting, because it's only data, which we need. And maybe we can get to a further problem. But you 4 should be speaking about your roads.
And we have been.
Yeah, and I actually had a conversation.
Not out here.
No, and I agree, and I
Have
did
we?
bring
We
up,
pretty
we did,
much
because
talk out in public most of the time.
no, we,
And we've had discussions on those roads, and every time we bring up one of those roads, a neighborhood comes out. I just spoke with Amri's representative today, and he mentioned North Jarvis, and my response is, when we brought that up before, I get emails from people in South Jarvis. Just the very idea of saying Jarvis irritates South Jarvis and people on Buschendorf, because it's really only 4 people on North Jarvis who we haven't heard from. But my response is, why do we keep putting the burden on the residents? Why doesn't the multi-million-dollar corporations bear some of this burden? They are making money off of the backs of Queens residents for the last 10 years.
Weren't you going to schedule a meeting with a smaller group like Amri's?
Yes, that's why I had that conversation today, because they said, we don't think a meeting is necessary. So I told them our position and asked them, please go back, because he's just a representative, go back and ask them again, because the town needs to have input from you. We need to have coordinated information from from Heidelberg, Amri's, Carver Companies, in the town. I mean, the town is always left out of every conversation.
If we're talking about Mountain Road Extension, Limekill, North Jarvis, I don't know that Carver has to be involved.
No.
We need a meeting. And you said that you were going to schedule a meeting for months now. You were going to schedule a smaller meeting following the open house at the firehouse.
Right.
Where you would get those
necessary.
Where
was the response?
Where you would get those in the room.
From Amri's.
Where you would get those individuals in the room, and we could have a discussion on a smaller scale about what can be done.
Right.
We've been trying.
And he's tried, yeah.
Because the meeting, when was it? At the last DEC seeker meeting, there were about, you were there.
yes,
And
and
Zach
they
was
did
there.
agree that, well, DEC actually said, I suggest, so it didn't come necessarily from the town or Amri's. The representative at DEC said, I suggest that this town and the businesses within the town have a smaller meeting to find a temporary solution to help the residents currently. And to jump back on at our meeting following that, I did ask, and it was very briefly, and we haven't heard. Yes, there is a weight restriction on Jarvis Road North. Yes, that was put on by the past administration. Is there a way to temporarily make Mountain Road Extension a one-way going up and a one-way coming out of Jarvis Road North? It's not the best solution, but it doesn't have traffic going in, out on one road only.
I understand what you're saying, and here's the response. Why does the town consistently have to carry this burden?
Because there are roads, the businesses are within our town, and we need the town, and we have to work together.
That's what I'm saying.
And come up with a
The industry should
solution.
be picking up some of this burden and not on our residents who come here meeting after meeting after meeting saying, what are you gonna do?
So again, there was talk that Amri's, formerly Lafarge, has an agreement with Carver, or with Heidelberg, formerly Carver, that allows them to take the overburdened rock out of the quarry. And I've been told by certain individuals that that lease or that agreement is supposed to expire sometime in June.
This year, I believe.
Right. And so we've had conversation at a town board level that said, where does Amri's land with renewing that agreement? And I think that's where we have to put pressure on Amri's to say, where are you with this agreement? What are you thinking you're going to do with this agreement? If you're going to absolve this agreement, then a lot of this issue goes away.
Understood. Here's an update on that conversation, because I had it this morning. And I've had it before, and you're waiting for a response. You're not getting responses. You're calling and you're emailing back. So I got the representative on the phone today because the ask that we had after the meeting that you were at, the DEC secret meeting, because you can see in a room full of 30 people, obviously, once again, there are competing interests, and people did not want to speak. I don't know if you picked up on it. Well, you weren't there. That when they were asked direct questions about the contract, they went on about the aggregate that is needed in New York State. Well, fine, get it somewhere else, is my thought process about protecting the town of Queens. My office had questions to them about the contract. Can we see it being number one? Also, the overburden that is up in the quarry, are there literal piles of thousands of tons of overburden? Who is creating this overburden? If there's a provision in the contract, I've been told, I haven't seen the contract, that says they have a year to get rid of that overburden. Well, how much is it? Can we see it? Who's creating it? I don't know from the representative I've talked to about where the overburden's coming from in the quarry, where it's being stored, and how long it's going to take to haul out. A year? I heard the provision said a year to get rid of the overburden. Does that mean 24 hours a day of trucks going up and down Mountain Road extension, pulling out an unknown amount of overburden? So there's a lot of questions, and we're asking these questions. Meanwhile, there's an industrial park in the town of Queens. The quarry is a whole other story.
Well, hold on, let's focus on the
just
quarry
goes
right
from
now.
quarry to port.
I know, but let's
That's
focus on
where
the
we're at.
quarry
I
right
just
now.
finished my update.
Right, so here's how we get an answer from Amrise, and how we get an answer from Heidelberg pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We say, we need to schedule a meeting, we need to see a copy of the contract,
Okay, this
and if you're,
all happened.
and if you're going to delay it, then we're going to post Mountain Road Extension. And that is going to, I guarantee you, raise some eyebrows.
Right.
And get the attention of them. Now, there is an issue with if we go ahead and we post Mountain Road Extension, we may get sued, because then we will have eliminated every possible route for them to access that quarry and get out of that quarry. But in the meantime, we can say that that's the position that we're going to take. So you better call us back, you better email us, you better get something on the schedule quickly, because the board is thinking about posting the road.
Okay, so I don't think we have it here, but the resolution to have the Lansing study would be pretty appropriate, I think, at this moment. But we can do that on the 11th.
But we were gonna talk about that, and then Zach sort of said, well, wait, because we want, the scope of work might include Mountain Road Extension too. So
I know, but to Candace's point, we as the town can't do anything about New York State roads. We have to focus on town roads and roads that we can control. And we can control Mountain Road Extension. I'm not in favor of posting Mountain Road Extension. You know that, Mr. and Mrs. Geraldson knows that. That's been my opinion all along. Why? Because I don't want to eliminate access to the quarry. And I am pro-business. But if we are getting nowhere, then I think we need to play our card and say, this is what we're going to do.
Right, force the hand.
And then we'll force their hand, and if they do nothing, and we proceed down that route, and then we get sued, then we'll have to travel a different route. But we can't just sit here on our hands and do absolutely positively nothing while we, just have our phone calls and emails go unanswered by Amrise.
Okay.
I don't mean to be rude, but our town attorney asked that exact question at the meeting at the firehouse about that exact June contract. And he directed the question to everybody in the room, and everybody said they knew nothing about that contract.
Well, somebody knows, somebody knows something.
I'm done, you can talk to
Yeah.
our attorney, because he asked that question.
I appreciate that input, Mrs. Geraldson. Somebody knows something about a contract.
Nobody said nothing.
Can we send Amrise an email? Okay, we don't get a response. Can we serve them?
So, a couple things. There are different things that you have authority over. You certainly have authority over your town roads. The purpose of the Lansing engineering study was to evaluate the condition of Mountain Road Extension in Limekill and its ability to withstand the traffic that it's getting. If you feel that those roads aren't adequate for the traffic that they're being exposed to, then the answer to that, the way to exert your leverage and protect the residents would be a weight limit. Separate from your control over town roads, you have control, you have oversight over uses within the town of Queens, whether they ingress and egress onto a town road or whether they ingress and egress onto a state or county highway. The way that you exercise that power is through site plan review. If AmRise, my suggestion would be that if they don't want to have a serious discussion about what we're going to do or what the town is going to do, how they're going to be part of the solution for the truck traffic that you're experiencing, you give Jason Chmielewski the green light to issue a stop work order, because they have not come in for site plan review. The way that the town provides oversight, gets public input, is you bring applicants like that in for site plan review. They go through public hearings. The town planning board sets parameters on the number of trucks, on the routes. They haven't done it. Insist that they do it.
I mean, that's another starting
That's
point.
another option.
Yeah, and I mean, that may be to avoid, you know.
It was made by the past board.
We've seen no indication in the minutes as to the quarry that that's been waived. There appear to be some indications in the minutes that as to the port and or the industrial park in particular, certain expansions resulted in a waiver of site plan review. But I don't see any indication that that happened as to the quarry.
So then let's.
Is that on I-1 zone up there?
It's an industrial zone, yeah.
Because isn't that exempt currently as for site plan review?
No, since 2011. And even as to, I know there was some back and forth when we brought this up last fall. I mean, even as to the industrial park and the port, there were some comments that they felt they were exempt, and that they, felt that they relied on that exemption. When you look at the minutes from the planning board, that's not what it reflects. They repeatedly came in and they asked for exemptions from site plan review. In some instances, town boards gave that to them, but it's pretty clear that they're subject to site plan review, that they themselves thought they were subject to site plan review, and they came into the town and acted accordingly. As to the mine, I don't see any indication that they've ever come in for that process. As for the port and the industrial park, I think that, waivers in some instances appear to have been given. I don't know if that would have been my recommendation at the time, but there's a different record as to the industrial park and the port than there is as to the quarry.
Is the breakdown in communication because of the takeover from AmRise or from, AmRise from Lafarge? Is it because there's a new plant manager? Because I remember David
No, there's not a
Laughlin.
breakdown. They, and this was from the conversation this morning. Everybody's waiting to see how this shakes out. So why would they make any sort of commitment or even a meeting? They're waiting to see
Because we control
if
that
the
road.
town is going to be more aggressive, which I recommend that we are when it comes to this.
You control the road and you control the site plan review. I mean, people can't just do anything.
Yeah, I respect your position, Mr. Riley, as our town attorney and everything, but I don't know that what you're saying is totally 100% accurate. So I can't go on that route. But what I can go on is that we own the road. Whether AmRise is subject to site plan review or not, that's debatable at this point in my mind. But we own the road.
All I would offer is that if you're going to impose weight limits on the road, it should be because the road conditions warrant it, not because you're trying to control a use that really you should control through planning board review.
So
If
if
that
they
makes sense.
went forward with the Lansing study and got it done, but let AmRise know that pending the results, we could be putting a weight limit on this road depending on what the results say. That may make them a little more apt to pay attention.
Well, I'm sure they're watching right now because I told them we were going to be talking about it this evening.
So please, if you're watching, call the supervisor tomorrow.
Send an email.
Okay, I think we made some progress on that. Rural Event Center definition discussion. Was there an issue with the, that you had last time with lot size? Where did we land on that?
We are working on an updated draft. I just haven't gotten to it. I had, was pulled out of the office for much of last week, but my recollection was that was going to be a topic of discussion at your workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might be shifting that if we have the village come and we do a joint workshop about the ambulance district next week on June 2nd. But if for some reason that doesn't come to fruition, you know, this is definitely something we'll have on the agenda to talk.
In the meantime, we will sort of, move that up the list in terms of just getting you an updated draft.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, truck traffic lime kill, we've talked about that, and I think we're all starting to pull in the same direction there. The 250 celebration discussion, did you have anything you wanted to, is there an update or anything?
Candace, no updates, right? We're just working hard, trying to get everything situated and organized and up to date.
Yeah, we're plugging along. We're still looking for sponsors. We do have to make sure we get it out there that we're looking for people to decorate their homes with a little bit of 4th of July flair. Break out the red, white, and blue, get the bunting out, do your flowers that colors if you can. We are going to have a contest, I believe, in the areas to see who has the best decorations, who's the most spirited. So I believe that is on our Facebook page. There is a 250 celebration page, but I'll make sure I put it on mine as well in the town so people can see that we want you to start. I think the goal date was Flag Day, June 14th, to start the decorating. And that would be about a month before the actual festival. So we hope that people do participate in that.
Yeah. And, the 11th will be, that Saturday will be the big celebration down at the Riverfront Park. A lot of vendors, a lot of activities for the kids, a very much incorporated, integrated historical aspect to it as well. We have, as I said before, the, God, I can't think of the name now.
Well, we have
reenactors. Sorry.
Reenactors will be there, and they will be, Mr. Brooks will be there in costume, I'm assuming.
Wood carving, right?
Wood carving.
Yeah.
They will be making something, I forget what it's called, but essentially it's moonshine from that time.
Yeah.
Not moonshine, but close.
Yeah. A spirited drink.
Spirited drink. And there will be a boat from that time down there and a cannon. Everyone loves the cannon.
And the cannon we're going to fire as well. So the chief said it was okay, right, Chief?
Mike's going to do it.
Sure. Across the river.
I took an online course. I think I'm good.
You certified?
Yeah, I'm certified.
He's not
It's going to be fired across the river. Just in case.
That's it. No. But it should be a great time. And then the Friday before that on the 10th is like a block party at the Mosier Park. And the pool will be open and hamburgers and hot dogs and a DJ. So it should be, Friday is Saturday of fun. And then Sunday's more of the historical aspect where we're going to have some historical parts of the town that you can go visit and get more information about how our town was up and alive and well in the 1800s and 1700s. So a lot to do. More to come as we get closer, but we're working hard to figure it all out and get everything organized for the community.
I just wanted to bring to the board's attention also, the sign that's up right now is a bit small for and it has misinformation on, it says Wednesdays for the farmer's market. So we're gonna just put our vinyl new farmer's market thing over the old one, the sign that we have, and just sort of have a stake in the ground holding it. But I did reach out and have a sign, I probably should have made a few copies of this, to just bring to the board's attention if anybody is in favor of replacing the sign with this Riverfront Park Queeman's Landing sign that's a bit taller, 84 inches tall and 72 inches wide. So at the bottom you could actually put farmers markets or whatever is going down, it's happening on the at the Riverfront Park. I redacted the prices on this because I'm reaching out to some other sign companies. But this is the general idea. It's just a very large sort of, sign.
So the issue that I have, Supervisor, since you're bringing it up, is that, so I was contacted on Tuesday or Wednesday, that there was a directive given to the Highway Department to remove the signs that are currently there.
No, I talked to George, I think he called me yesterday, and he asked me that question, and I said, no, why would we take a sign down? It's better to have something there than nothing.
Well, I
told him I haven't even talked to the board yet about the new sign.
Correct.
Or if we're even gonna, or even if we're gonna have one, because we may not.
So I talked to Regina, so I had a conversation with George LeMountain. He said that the directive to remove both signs came from Regina. So I contacted Regina, I had a conversation with her.
Yeah.
She told me that, you had given her the directive to have the sign removed.
No.
And so I'm just trying to figure out if your concern is the height of the sign.
The width is what we're looking at. So you see the bottom sign that you have pulled up?
Correct.
That is probably about 1.5 to 2 feet, not as wide as the vinyl sign, and it also has the misinformation of Wednesday instead of Thursdays. So I said, let's just put that. I don't know if that sign needs to be removed, or maybe you could just put a vinyl one over it. But
the sign, the top sign.
Yeah, that's fine.
From 1991.
That's where we got the idea from. The same blue and white lettering with a little sailboat.
So you didn't give the directive to remove both signs?
No, there's no reason to remove a sign before I even talk to you about getting another sign. And by the way, this sign comes from last year, I think, when I put a grant proposal in for a new, not a gazebo, but a pavilion and the soccer. You remember the $750,000 grant? This was part of that, so I merely just pulled this out of that file.
I just want to make sure, because we have several signs throughout the town of Queens, like this sign that has the supervisor and the council people.
I think it should just be Riverfront Park, Queens Landing.
Well, hold on. We have a sign at Geralman Park that was dedicated back when Geralman.
March 1973.
Correct. That has the supervisor and council members' names on it.
Yeah, it's a great sign.
I think right. So is it your plan then to go around town and remove all the signs?
Not in the least, no.
Well, then why are we talking about changing this sign?
Because this one's bigger and wider, and it's more of a presentation, and the bottom sign is out of date on that one. But
correct, but
once again,
fix
if
the
the
bottom.
board doesn't want us, this is the first time I've mentioned this.
I know. I'm just telling you. I was notified that you gave a directive to remove the sign. If that's not the case,
no, it's.
But that's what I'm being told.
Okay, well, misinformation.
From George and Regina.
Okay.
And I had conversations directly with both of them, not second-handed. Directly.
Well, no, you're getting first-hand information. No, I'd never said to take those signs down.
I do feel
them up,
it's
maybe.
respectful to take the board members' names off of it.
Correct.
I think that's extremely disrespectful. But
That's exactly what the board will
So-
have the discussion about. How whatever you want to put on the
So
sign. We created a very.
for now, I would
finale.
leave the sign and maybe get a wooden sign that says Thursday or something and just put it
got a
up.
banner.
No, we have a
banner.
Then problem solved. If it's not
Yeah,
broke,
exactly.
Don't fix it.
There is no problem.
If it's not broke, don't fix
Okay,
it.
so
And I think
if
Regina-
you guys want to
And
discuss
I think Regina
this.
ordered other signs, like 100 other signs. that
Yes,
she's
we
gonna place
just paid those
strategically.
vouchers.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
so
there's gonna be
Signage.
signage for
So once again, just brought up for discussion. If you want to dig in further, I still do have the entire grant proposal that I made last year for the $750,000 Parks and Rec grant. Let me know if you want to apply for that this year, because we didn't last year. It was roundly rejected by the board.
I think we have a lot of irons in the fire right now.
Absolutely, but want to go for a grant. I've already done all the work, so it would just be a matter of applying. Okay, so that takes us to Ravena Rescue Squad. Mr. Schmidt, you said you're gonna give the plan map and report to legal just so they could review it last meeting?
I have not done that. My apologies, Mr. Riley, but I do believe that you have a copy anyway.
Do you? I asked you if you wanted my hard copy, and you said no.
I don't,
We have an email from January
Okay.
that he's on.
Okay, so what about the process for the ballot? Where are we at with that? That needs to go on, or what's the process for that?
I think
I don't
before
have
we
additional information for you
yeah,
on
we
that.
can't do that
Okay.
yet
I
until
think
we
before
decide
we
proceeding.
Before we get down too far down that road, I do think that it would be beneficial for us, and I have requested this before, not officially or formally, but informally, that we get some sort of preliminary budget as to what you think your firm is gonna charge in order to, from start to finish. You know, knowing that we have a current draft, it's from 2023, but knowing that there's a current draft of a MAP plan and report. Knowing that, you know, you and I, or the three of us, had spoke after the last meeting about the email that I got with the Attorney General's office having to be involved, because it may not be possible for us as a town to just say, we don't care about permissive referendum, we're just gonna put it on the ballot. That may not be an option. You may have to have you may have to have a referendum in order for that to happen. But I do think a budget would be helpful, so that.
I can get that to you.
Awesome, yeah. And Supervisor, you were gonna reach out to the village and see if they're interested in coming to our Tuesday's workshop?
Yes.
Okay.
Doing that. Okay, that brings us to, Trish, you had suggested Wreaths Across America. You wanted to update us on that?
Yes, very quick brief. First and foremost, I just want to say this weekend, this town and the village, we had amazing celebrations for our veterans for Memorial Day. I and Steve and Candace, we went to the cemetery. We put flags for our veterans, and then on Sunday, the VFW did an amazing Monday on Memorial Day. VFW, I think led by Trip Powell, did an amazing ceremony. It was very beautiful, very touching. So I just think that is extremely important. So for quite a few months now, I've been talking about bringing Wreaths Across America to our town cemeteries. Wreaths Across America, it started in 1992 in Worcester, the Worcester Wreath Company in Harrington, Maine. They had an excess of holiday wreaths, so with the help of a local senator and veterans, they arranged to take those excess wreaths and put them at fallen heroes in the Arlington Cemetery. After that, in 2007, a nonprofit started, which was Wreaths Across America. That was officially established. And then in 2008, they made it National Wreaths Across America Day. So this year, it so happens to fall December 19th. That will... Your birthday?
Yeah.
That's your birthday?
Yeah.
December 19th, that will be the Wreaths Across America Day nationally. So every cemetery in all 50 states, they get together and they have volunteers and sponsors, and they go and they lay a wreath on all of the veteran cemeteries. I've done it for about 10 years at Saratoga National. Last year, I had the honor to do it at Westerlo. I didn't realize it was a thing in small towns. So I would like to bring that here to the town of Clements, and also include St. Pat's Cemetery because it is conjoined with one of our town cemeteries. So in order to do so, it is a big undertaking. I've done a little bit of research to make sure this is possible. I would share it. I have asked a friend of mine who I work closely with, Jessica Rarick. Her son is the VFW president for the auxiliary. So I figured I'd tie that in by having that connection. The wreaths would be sponsored, collected, and then placed on every grave. I would like to establish a committee within this town to bring everything else together. There would be a ceremony followed by the wreath laying on the stones. I spoke with Trip Powell. He is excited about it, said he would be willing to lead to have the ceremony part done. Jim Evans was there, Nick Laraway, Collins and Son. I spoke to them about assisting in the needs to make this happen. My biggest obstacle was we need to get an 18-wheeler truck through this town to get the wreaths delivered at St. Pat's. I had no idea how we could do that. I spoke to Candace. Nick Laraway actually said we could drop all of the wreaths down at the port. I spoke to Mr. LaMountain to see if the town highway department could get the wreaths, deliver them to that cemetery. We would take have the other wreaths delivered out at the county building out in Hollow. Collins and Son said they could pick them up, or George said that. So as far as the implementation, we can do it. I started filling out the paperwork. It took about 45 minutes. I need the approval of the town to do this. So I have to sign up each cemetery separately. It would have its own webpage. My biggest question, that's for you, is the wreaths, I believe, are $22 each. We could do a $5 donation that could go to an organization, or we could just have that $5 go to when someone buys a wreath online, we could choose an organization it could go to, or the town could take the money. I don't know if that's legal, so that's your department. And the reason I thought about this is we recently got an email from someone, I don't recall his name, to do restoration on graves. Could we
John Blaisdell.
Okay, so I don't know if Mr. Blaisdell has an organization or something that we could sign up for the wreaths to be purchased through. He could choose the extra $5 to go to his organization so we could restore gravestones. Or is there a way for the town to do it and that money gets earmarked for the cemeteries only? So I don't need that answer tonight.
Let me take a look at it. It strikes me, I've seen other communities where, say, the veteran signs that would appear on lampposts and whatnot, where they would have a similar system. So say a family member could decide to purchase that sign. They would give that money to the municipality. The municipality would then go out and buy the sign and put it up. And so it strikes me as maybe a similar format to that.
We do that.
So we can.
The VFW does that here. Purchase the sign.
You do?
Yep, and I pay the VFW every year to maintain it and put it back up.
Okay, I think we can work something out. It seems like a similar
Yeah,
arrangement.
so if we could do that, I would love to, because then we could get money to restore all of these graves. It's a win-win. So, so I just need the support of the board so I can say, yes, the town is okay with doing this.
If they're $22 a piece, you said they're bought by sponsorship?
Oh, yeah, so so what I could do is I could actually even have, the schools could run their own campaign because they would create their own website. People go into their website, buy the wreaths for our graves, they would get the money. So it's not just solely that we could also advertise that the town, would like you to sponsor a wreath. And the person actually gets to choose, do they want to put that $5 towards, or they can roll it into extra wreaths. So, and I put down about 400 for St. Pat's has the largest amount of veterans out of our cemeteries. So if we were to hit our 400 mark of wreaths, any additional wreaths would then go to your next neighboring town cemeteries that may not have hit their mark. And if we exhausted all of ours, then I could choose. So right now, St. Pat's and Grove Cemetery, if we hit 400, then I want any excess wreaths to go to Indian Fields. Indian Fields would be Alcove. If Alcove were to hit its, then I would probably do Saratoga National at that point.
So we still have Queen Hollow too.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
At the wreaths at Saratoga, you pay for.
Everybody pays for it.
Everybody pays for it. You buy it. You don't. It's like a donation. You're sponsoring a wreath, and
Right.
so yeah.
And the other thing is, up at Finks on 9W, there's a Wreaths Across America.
He picks them up. He goes and gets them and picks them up and delivers them, and he goes to Saratoga National, I believe. So yeah. So ours could be delivered right here to our town.
So, Ms. Grogan, you just need authorization from the board to register our cemeteries on wreaths across
Yes,
America.
in order to be able to proceed.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any questions? Good?
I'll make sure it's in the minutes so you can
Yeah.
use that as.
Yeah, that's all I have to submit to them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for doing that and taking that on.
I do need flag markers, if anyone knows. Do we have them laying around? You know, like those little neon flags that, like for electric lines? I'll need, yeah, so,
I guess maybe if we call it access safety.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll need them.
Highway.
Yeah, thank you.
That's true.
Okay.
So that brings us to resolutions. Trish, if you want to kick us off.
Yes. So, I, council member Patricia Grogan, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the town of Queens and the Ravena Queens Selkirk Central School District, RCS, are desirous of entering into an intermunicipal cooperative agreement to benefit the town of Queens youth summer employees and the RCS Ravens Academy. And whereas Article 5-G, Section 199-0 of the General Municipal Law specifically authorizes municipal corporations to enter into municipal cooperative agreements, and whereas the parties believe that cooperating in connection with the Ravens Academy program is in the public interest of the taxpayers of the respective tax bases and would benefit both the students enrolled at Ravens Academy and the summer youth employees. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Queens does hereby authorize Supervisor Stephen Donnelly to execute the attached intermunicipal cooperative agreement with RCS for an initial term of 1 year, commencing on the date such agreement is fully executed.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna table this one for executive session? Is that the consensus?
That's what we said at the last meeting.
And not making a decision.
We're not going to make a decision?
Well, you can discuss that when you go into
Yeah.
the motion.
Yeah, well, we'll have to decide if we're coming back out, which is why I think we're saying
Okay,
that.
yeah.
And I did suggest that even if we do make, like, if we say we're going to make a decision, we can always do it at our workshop, so we don't have to come back, if we're all in agreement.
That's next Tuesday.
Right, so,
I, Councilmember Stott, offer the following resolution with its adoption, whereas Public Officers Law 87 requires that all agencies subject to provisions of the Freedom of Information Law, FOIL, develop a policy regarding the provision of notification to employees in the event that the agency is responding to a request for such employees' disciplinary records. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Queens has developed such a notification policy consistent with the provisions of the Public Officers Law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Queens does hereby adopt the attached Town of Queens policy for employee notification upon requests for personal records pursuant to the Freedom of Information Law, FOIL, dated May 28th, 2025, to take effect immediately.
Second discussion?
Just for discussion, Mr. Riley, is this a new requirement? Or is this something that the town has been delinquent on?
It's a relatively new requirement in connection with the police records. I can't say that it was yesterday,
Right,
but,
yeah.
but it hasn't been out
It
there.
hasn't been 10 years,
Yeah.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Actually, I'm sorry, can we amend the date on the, here it says May 28th, 2025?
Yep, I amend May 28th, 2025 to May 28th, 2026. Is that, yeah?
Second for the amendment?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
And you wanted a chance to read that?
Yeah, just so the public is aware, on the agenda, we have a resolution to adopt a sexual harassment policy. Mr. Riley and Michael provided us with a draft on Friday. I just haven't had a chance to review it. And I would just like some time to just review it and digest it, and we'll move on it at, not the workshop meeting, but the.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I agree. Just change the date on that too.
Okay. Supervisor Donnelly, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Be it resolved that the town board has approved the payments of bills as presented in the abstract for May 2026 as follows. Prepaid vouchers 26-00506 to 26-00571 from the following funds: general, $274,596.38. Part-town, $34,135.65. Part-town DB, $76,904.40. Sewer, $37,416.81. Trust and agency, $54,700.86. Voucher numbers 26-00572 to 26-00672 from the following funds: general, $94,078.56. Part-town, $3,547.19. DA fund is $15,066.32. DB's $2,640.72. Sewers $20,908.66, and TA is $950. For total of all funds, $614,945.55.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Upcoming meetings. June 2nd is our workshop. That's a Tuesday at 6 p.m. June 4th is PBZBA meeting at 7, and June 11th is our next regular meeting at 6. Public comment time. If any residents would like to step up to the lectern Please do.
Before we do that, can I ask a question? I have a couple of questions that I would just like answered. Flagpole at Town Hall. Are we getting one? Was it?
Yeah, I wrote an email. I ordered it.
If you read it,
She might not have seen it today.
Oh,
if you
okay.
sent it today, I did not get it.
Okay, then yes, there's been ordered and thermostats,
Yes.
guy came today. I didn't get an update on that. And what was the other one?
Okay.
What was the third thing?
Who came for the thermostats?
Long?
Long Energy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we get a quote
Well,
from Long?
we did, but he went, I think they need to like get, I don't know, they said.
Don't we
that-
have service contract with C&M Mechanical?
Yeah, this is service, they estimated a 38,000. For some reason, they didn't do the thermostats when we asked them to. They went through and put numbers. So, we just want to get the thermostats down, but now there may be a wrinkle, I'm not sure.
Wait a minute, 38,000?
3,800, right?
Well, no, 38,000, I'm sorry, 3,800 for movement of,
So, to be fair, because at one of our meetings, we were supposed to have sealed bids. And at one of our meetings, we announced what one of the bids was, which we definitely should not be doing.
The only bid.
The only
I was
bid.
aware of. I haven't
Yeah.
seen a bid from Long.
Right. So, but we publicly said what that amount was, which we definitely should not be doing that.
Yeah.
So are we getting, so we have the bid from Mechanical. Are you getting a bid from Long?
Well, this wasn't for the full thing. This was just to get the thermostats on the wall. The walls, I think there's
But are
three
we
of them.
fixing the thermostats that are hanging that have been like that since construction?
That's it, yeah.
So I wasn't a part of all that construction. Why are they hanging and why didn't the construction company do their work?
Not sure that HVAC was a part of it at the time, so when we came into it, there it was. It's the same, the other question was about landscaping. There was no landscaping plan either.
I didn't have a question about landscaping.
It was in your email, something about, or did I add that?
You added
Nope,
that.
I did
Okay.
not have a question about that.
With the flag.
No, so when I don't know the company that did this work, I wasn't a part of that. So they're allowed to just leave wires hanging from a ceiling and say, call it a day?
It wasn't in the scope of work. They're not gonna touch it if it's not in the scope of work.
Okay. So we do need to get that done because if it's 98 degrees out, we have no idea how that's going to affect the office.
Absolutely,
So to me, that needs to be a priority before we have a 98-degree day and we're saying, oh crap.
You're right.
So what is
Okay.
Long charging to do thermostats?
So it was a couple of $100, but we're, like I said, I'm not sure. They're still hanging from the wall, so obviously they didn't start work. So if they have some other estimate, we're gonna have to go back and see if there are two other quotes. we
Because
can
it's
get.
not just about mounting them, it's about the system being unbalanced or something,
Yeah.
I
correct?
feel like part of the problem was the fact that the thermostats are not in the correct spots.
They need to be
either.
relocated, so that's a
We
bigger
mentioned that to
problem.
the gentleman in my office today, and he said, oh, no, we're not moving that. It'll be in here.
No,
Okay, so yeah, that's a
Okay.
tomorrow thing.
Thank you.
Tomorrow morning.
thank you.
So yes to the flagpole,
Why is this-
not sure what the thermostats.
Yeah.
The flagpole was ordered already?
Yeah, because I thought we really needed one, and this one, particular one was $400 as opposed to the other ones that were like almost $3,000. So I figured we need a flag.
Was that ordered today?
No, last week.
Okay. And
I told Fazio, he showed me he was like, here's your choices, 400 or 3,000. And I'm like, well, obviously, let's get the $400 one, but we need a flag out front.
And again, though, that wasn't a part of this new building, like a municipal building?
Yeah, that's
put up-
landscaping, so there was no landscaping.
But isn't that a town board decision?
To have a flag?
No, to figure out what flagpole we're going to go with.
If you want to buy a $3,000, we can.
The pole.
I don't know what the $400 flagpole looks like. I mean, I
Maybe it's
just
a little
would
bigger.
like to know.
I mean, any kind of town building should have a flagpole.
Right.
The fact that it's not even up
Yeah.
bothers me.
Yeah.
But okay,
It's
okay,
exactly right.
we're getting a flagpole, thank you, sorry.
The reason flagpoles cost $3,000 to $5,000 is because they need certain wind studies. They need to be able to handle hurricanes, things of that sort. That's why when we put it in Grove, I believe it was about $3,000 to put a new flagpole.
And they need a light.
Proper flagpole.
And who's going to install it?
Or
Fazio.
hopefully highway.
Side of the building.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Sorry,
Public comment time?
thank you.
Hey, Bob.
Thank you. My name is Bob Jones, Mountain Road Extension. And with
Linda
me-
Geraldson, Fuller Road.
Okay. And what I have here is a formal request to maintain the table on truck study actions. And my scope of work is to hand these documents out to you. I want to get through this.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's yours.
Thank you. Excuse me. Lights aren't working? Yeah, well. Okay, good evening, board. And thank you for your service. I would not want to sit up there. All right, my neighbor and I are here representing the Mountain Road Extension and Fuller Road residents. Following Tuesday's Albany Alliance open house at the school, we are asking the board to maintain the table on the Lansing Engineering truck study. On Tuesday evening, prior to the Alliance open house, we formally presented 13 exhibits, evidence to the board assessment review to demand a 50% property tax reduction due to the devastating impact of this truck traffic. The board now has 30 days to notify us of their decision. Beyond the pending assessment, we want to record to show a complete absence of traffic control and a total absence of public studies justifying this route. There is a single sign telling trucks to, there's not one single sign to tell truck drivers to slow down, and zero signs prohibiting loud jake braking. Furthermore, a diligent review of town records reveal no zoning permits, no environmental reviews, and no engineering studies, proving that our residential road can safely absorb up to 232 trucks a day. Any claim that this route is safe is completely debunked. By Exhibit 7, if you see that, the active New York State DEC order of consent in April of 2024, just 7 months after Local Law 10 passed, the state issued formal violations for environmental contamination on this exact route. The state has legally verified that toxic fugitive dust is invading our properties. You cannot call an industrial route safe when the state has already penalized it for environmental contamination. Our packet includes Exhibit 3, proven severe respiratory risks from diesel trucks idling in a bottleneck at Limekeel Road, and Exhibit 5 showing a decade of photos tracking the complete destruction of our roadside green space since 2015. In addition to those photos is videos as well. Because of major decisions regarding the financial evaluation of our homes is pending, and because the town has zero data to override an active state environmental violation, it would be entirely premature to move forward tonight. Please keep this matter tabled until our data is fully integrated. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Good evening, board. I'm just so happy to be here. And I am sorry, Chief, that you're leaving. You're just getting to know me.
I feel like I've known you my whole life, Henrietta.
It's personal, you know?
My grandmother's name was Henrietta.
Ah. So I have a sense of humor, and I thank you for bringing up our problems down on 144 with the dirt bikes. And it does continue, and I do appreciate the officers that are helping. Speaking of that, I do know that the juvenile delinquents 16 and under are very hard to charge and are protected, but so are elderly people. There is elder abuse, and it is terrorism threats which we have received. So I will be looking into that in case we have a couple kids over 18, which I believe to do. My question is, what is the impound cost to get bikes out of impound? And if it's low, can it be raised to hurt the parents or the adults?
Well, if you're asking it, that's a commercial decision that's made by the tow companies that we summon to come and do it. It's done on a rotating basis, but there's normally, in general terms, a tow is about $200, $250 for the tow and so many dollars a day.
Okay. See, I'm not sure how that goes, so they can basically, get that out pretty quick.
Well, we might have to hold on to it until the case is dismissed. So that might take some time. So,
I like that
I'm just
one.
saying, well, I can't speed up the wheels of justice. I mean, it's important that.
Run slowly.
Well, there's maybe a question about, and the vehicle owner has to, provide proper evidence that they own the vehicle and things like that, so.
Okay. Yeah, I never had a bike impounded. I did have two and still have a good motorcycle license, which I'll never use again. Also, the property that they're destroying, we have to get our own lawyers. There's a lot that I don't know.
No, if you have damage to your property connected to, which you do, we had somebody down there talking about your pine trees. I don't want to litigate or discuss all these specifics. You and I have talked for a long time, and you've been dealing with my officers.
Yeah.
And we're well aware of who, what, when, where, how, and why.
No, information, that's,
No, I don't think you need a personal lawyer because of this. I mean, you're a law-abiding citizen that needs protection, and we intend to provide it.
Now, you guys have discussed tonight 144. 144 is a gold mine for speeders. You can make a lot of money. Ever since the sheriff's department left, the new 30 is between 50 and 60, to the point where the people that live at Westerlo and 144 are making their own signs saying "slow down, children." And I have a picture of that sign if you would like to see that. It is traffic of all kinds down there. It's not just dirt bikes, heavy trucks, but you're losing money and you're talking budget and whatever. You got a gold mine. It's like fishing in a fishing, they're there. Okay. I am trying to get with my neighbors to see what they want. You took care of a lot of things for me, Chief, and I thank you. I think that's the encroachment, the speed. You now have 2 green dirt bikes down there. I have a question. I'm not sure who it goes to, but there's vacant buildings down there. I've been living here for 10 years, and nobody's doing anything with them. They're condemned. I would like to see Queenman's Landing upgrade, let's say, to get rid of the buildings, put something in there, or not. But you are boasting about the marina and the port, but you leave out the people. We have a post office that is horrible, absolutely horrible in the snow. You have vacant buildings that are there. It looks like Skid Row. And there's nothing that can be done. We all pay taxes. We all want better for each other. I came from an area where neighbor help neighbor. Good neighbor policy. And I believe in it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Further resident comment? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for personnel matters.
I'll second.
And
It's my understanding then you will not take any further action tonight. You may take action at the workshop on Tuesday. Is that
is
correct?
that what we decided? Okay.
And we don't have to come back.
That's fair.
It sounds like.
That's why.
I just want to be sure Candace knows if she needs to
Well,
stay
if you're
around.
coming
or-
back, I gotta,
That's fine, we can wait till Tuesday.
Wait till Tuesday.
We'll come back. I'm not trying to.
yeah, I don't.
I mean,
just wanna know.
I think executive session isn't gonna take that long, and
Yeah,
if we're gonna,
I
if we're gonna
agree.
do it, I think we should just,
Okay, then we'll come back.
we should have our
We're
quick
coming back.
discussion.
We're coming back.
Sounds good, okay. Candace
All
will
right,
stay.
Candace. People can wait, since we may take action.
Okay, I guess we'll do.
We have to make a motion to come
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Executive
go ahead.
session.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session at 8:27.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I guess I'll read this. I Supervisor Darling offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas the town of Queens Police Chief has received a letter of resignation from Detective Loran effective as of July 1st, 2026, and whereas Corporal Jeffrey Weir has expressed an interest in assuming the detective position and meets or exceeds the qualification requirements for said position, and whereas the police chief has determined that it would be advantageous to allow Corporal Weir to work as a detective alongside Detective Loran prior to Detective Loran's resignation in order to ensure a smooth transition within the department. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Queens does hereby appoint Corporal Jeffrey Weir to the position of part-time detective with the town of Queens Police Department at an hourly rate of $38.17 per hour, effective as of June 1st, 2026. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Queens thanks Detective Loran for his approximately 12 years of service and dedication to the town of Queens.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
And I would like to make a motion to reinstate the chief's salary to full salary from January 1, effective immediately.
I'll second that.
As it was on
The
January.
1 rate effective immediately.
My second.
January 1, 2000.
In light of the transition needs and just the work that's going to be associated with it.
Yeah, in light of Chief Tryon's retirement notice and the need to incorporate or
Just work through this transition
Yeah.
process.
Seconded by Councilperson Stott. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, there's no further business. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.